about that next project,
Yeah.
what you're gonna build, you're thinking through the tools you have, and then the steps or processes to get that thing moving.
You know, and it tends to go like this, right? When you think about your next project, what you want to build, what you want to do, and you think about what material you have, it always starts big, right? And it comes in 4x8 sheets, and then you start stepping it down, right?
Typically, you rarely start with a 4x8 sheet. You're starting with something smaller. So the first step is getting it smaller.
Yes.
Now, you got bandsaws, so you can hold a big sheet and try to cut it through. If it's too thick, you really can't put it in a kick shear. You know, you can do a cutoff wheel, but I mean, you could be there for hours.
Hours, man. I've used a cutoff wheel to cut off a quarter panel before, and it seemed like an eternity, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Or you could throw fire at it. Now here's the old school method. Acetylene torches. Of course, this takes some adjustment, some tuning. You got the gas, you got the oxygen, you add it and tune up your tip. And actually, it's kind of an ugly cut, right? There's a lot of slag that goes in there, a lot of debris and so forth in the cut, and it takes a little while, as you'll see.
You can do some decent stuff, but now you got fire in your hand. You can't really set the torch down, adjust your materials. You know, so you can go through and make a decent cut, but we've made some progress, because right now I've got to have 2 tanks.
Right.
And I've got to make sure that during shop hours, I can get them filled, and I always have them ready. But what's nice about stepping into something like a plasma cutter is you're using shop air.
Right, compressed air. And most people in their garage and their shops have compressed air. Now the only problem about compressed air is with that compressed air comes a little bit of moisture. And you'll find out if you spend about 75, 85 bucks on a filter like this, you'll save your plasma cutter. You'll cut the downtime in it in half, right? You'll save
your
its life.
disposables, you'll make them last a lot longer, maybe double the life of them.
Yeah. So you get compressed air, you plug it right in here, you have your dryer so you don't have any of that moisture, and the cuts on this thing become a lot cleaner and a lot nicer. Now what's really nice about a machine like this, man, you just get close to it, fire it off.
What's great about a machine like this from Miller is a 40 amp, 220 volt, so it's got plenty of amperage to cut some pretty thick material up to 5/8. But it also has a real smart feature. It's got different pigtails for the ends, so I can plug it into a 110 or a 220. So this thing will cycle, you know, basically give me the output of whatever I have. So if I'm on a job site and I can only get a 110, or if in my shop I got 220, I'm not going to get shortchanged anywhere.
And you saw, at about the time you grouted that 4 or 5 inch slice with the torches, I was able to cut this entire piece with the plasma cutter. All right, now let's get in here and show you what makes these things just so cool. This is an actual drag tip. Now you see that by these channels that are on here. This allows some of that debris to come shooting and get blown out as you come across. All right, now in here, you'll see the diffuser. Oh, okay. Get this guy off. You'll see that diffuser, and that's gonna swirl that gas, that compressed air, and allow it to light off, right? And that's what's gonna heat up, blow through this metal. The rest of the gas uses it and just blows it right out of the way. So a lot of guys, depending on who you ask, will tell you could actually drag this tip or keep it about a 1/16 of an inch off. That's where something like this comes in really handy. This cool little tool, check that out. So now,
It's like a little wheelie cart.
yeah, man, you can make cuts, follow different patterns and so forth.
Yeah, if you have the drag tip, you can drag it across the surface. But a lot of times you'll have just that inside part, something that looks like this.
Right.
And if you drag that guy too much, you'll wear it out prematurely. Not the end of the world, you put new tips in. But if you can hold it that little bit of gap, you'll make it last a little longer. But it sure is easy to do the drag style.
Yeah, it is. Now while we're at it, we'll show you a couple easy ways to make some nice, smooth cuts.
All right, you want to start with a thin metal?
Yeah.
All right, let me turn you down real quick. Now over here you can see there's not a lot of controls. I got a knob. I've got a few little idiot lights here in case something over temps or if something's wrong with my cup or I don't have the right shop pressure. But I can just come over here and turn my amperage down to whatever material thickness I've got, and I'll put you down here pretty thin, and you're all set. That's how easy it is to operate.
Now I'll show you a pretty standard cut, okay? You want to be perpendicular right off the edge, 90 degrees, let it spark off, and just drag it. And just like that, you got a nice clean cut.
Magic, man.
Yeah,
So
fire.
cool. Now this machine right here, this is the X-treme, the 625 model from Miller. It'll go up to 5/8 inches of steel working like all day long. And you can cut even thicker with a little bit of patience and a little bit of craftiness.
Yeah, and you think of a tiny machine, look how small that is. And 5/8 of an inch is some boss material to cut through.
So we got about 1/4 inch here. I'm gonna show you again like how easy it is, you know, using the same techniques. Here's some thicker plate. Right, and show you a couple of these tips here.
Now the first thing we're gonna do is what's called a pierce delay. You wanna set in about 45 degrees, set your tip down, and then spark it, and then turn it right up and watch it dig right through the metal.
Yeah, go ahead and lean it up a little bit more. Now what you're doing is, you're not always gonna start on the edge. There you go. So you get that first hole started, stand her kind of straight up again, and you can do a slot, you can cut out a pattern, you can make a hole. So a really good way to start, especially in the thicker metals, which is cool. Now another thing you can do is called gouging. So here's like a frame bracket, maybe it's on the side of your car frame, your truck frame. And a lot of times you want to remove them because you're making changes. So you can actually gouge or just kind of blow away the weld. Now it takes a little bit of practice and skill. So maybe a side on the side, maybe the bracket that you're not going to keep. Now you could use this same technique if you want to make sort of a gouge or a groove in a thicker piece of metal, just as you would to kind of blow off the weld on this bracket. All right, dude, see how simple that is. Now, we've got a good start on some of the tips and techniques on how to begin a project. When we come back, we're going to check out the rest of our goodies that we got from Cyberweld. I'm going to show you guys some 101.